Imagine driving down a lonely road at midnight. No streetlights, no houses, nothing but endless black stretching out on both sides. Now imagine that no matter how far you drive, the same woman keeps stepping into your path. How do you escape when the road itself refuses to let you go? The dashboard clock read 12:47 a.m. Jake, a long-haul truck driver, tightened his grip on the steering wheel as his 18-wheeler hummed down the empty highway in rural Nevada. He had been on the road for 14 hours, eyelids heavy, his thermos of coffee already drained. The world outside was a canvas of black, no stars, no moon, just the steady glare of his headlights cutting through the darkness. His radio had died hours ago. His phone had no signal. It was just him, the hum of the engine, and the white dashed lines hypnotizing him mile after mile. Then, out of nowhere, a figure appeared in the middle of the road. Jake's heart jumped into his throat. He slammed his foot down on the brake, tires screeching against the asphalt. The truck shuddered violently as it slowed, smoke curling up from the wheels. The figure didn't move. When the truck finally halted just a few feet away, Jake's breath came out ragged, his chest pounding. He leaned forward, squinting through the windshield. It was a woman. She stood barefoot in the middle of the road. Long black hair tangled like seaweed, her pale dress fluttering slightly, even though there was no wind. Her face, he couldn't see it clearly, but her head was tilted down at an unnatural angle, chin almost touching her chest. Jake cursed under his breath. What the hell? He reached for the horn and blasted it. The sound shattered the silence of the night, echoing across the empty desert. But the woman didn't move. She didn't flinch. Slowly, cautiously, Jake eased the truck forward, planning to drive around her. But the moment his headlights shifted to the left, the woman tilted her head up. Jake's blood turned to ice. Her face was deathly pale, her eyes glowing faintly white like animal eyes reflecting the light. Her lips curled into the faintest unnatural smile. And then she vanished. 1 second she was there, the next, nothing. Jake let out a shaky laugh, rubbing his eyes. Christ, Jake, you're just tired. Just a trick of the light. Get a grip. He shook his head, downshifted, and rolled back onto the highway. But 10 minutes later, she appeared again. This time, much closer. Jake nearly jumped out of his seat as she materialized right in front of his headlights. He jerked the wheel, swerving hard, the truck fishtailing before stabilizing on the shoulder. His hands trembled violently on the wheel, sweat dripping down his temple. His headlights searched the empty road. Nothing. Just black asphalt stretching into infinity. No, this isn't real. I'm just hallucinating. I need sleep. But when he glanced at his dashboard clock, his stomach dropped. It still read 12:47 a.m. Jake's pulse quickened. He checked his phone, still no signal. The air inside the cab felt stifling, suffocating. He rolled down his window for fresh air, but the night outside seemed wrong. Too quiet, not even the chirp of crickets. Not the faintest breeze, just silence. He pressed the gas again, desperate to reach civilization, a gas station, something. But 3 miles down the road, she was there again. And this time, she was smiling wide, her lips stretching impossibly, her teeth sharp and glistening in the glow of his headlights. Jake slammed the brakes once more, his knuckles white around the wheel. His heart hammered in his ears. He couldn't take his eyes off her. Her smile grew wider. And then, in a voice that seemed to echo from inside his head, she whispered, "You can't leave. This road belongs to me." Jake gasped, his whole body going cold. He blinked once and she was gone. Again. The road stretched ahead, endless, and empty. But now, Jake knew. He wasn't just tired. He wasn't hallucinating. He was trapped. Somehow, he had driven into a place where the rules of the world no longer applied. And that woman, the thing that wore the shape of a woman, wasn't going to let him leave. The truck engine rumbled beneath him. The night pressed in all around. And Jake realized, with bone-chilling certainty, that the real nightmare wasn't her. It was the road itself. Jake's knuckles were stiff around the steering wheel, his breath shallow and uneven. The road stretched ahead like a black ribbon, his headlights swallowing yard after yard of asphalt. But his chest told him what his brain didn't want to admit. He wasn't getting anywhere. The woman wasn't just appearing. She was part of the road, woven into its very fabric. Jake pressed harder on the gas, the truck's engine growling as the speedometer climbed 55, 65, 75 miles per hour. His eyes locked on the horizon, desperate for a sign, a gas station glow, a road sign, a mile marker, anything that would tell him he was moving forward. Minutes bled into what felt like hours. Sweat dripped from his brow, stinging his eyes. His palms were slick, sliding against the wheel. He forced himself to stay focused, repeating under his breath, "Just get through this. Just get through this. You'll see lights soon. And then salvation." Up ahead, faint and flickering, he saw the neon red glow of a gas station sign. His heart leaped. Finally. He pressed the pedal harder. Eyes locked on the sign, as it grew brighter. Closer, his ticket out of this nightmare. He could almost see the building now. The glowing open 24-hour sign, buzzing faintly. Jake exhaled a laugh of relief. Thank God. The road curved slightly, and suddenly, the gas station was gone. The glow vanished in the blink of an eye, like a mirage dissolving into nothing. Jake's laughter died in his throat. His stomach knotted as realization sank in. It wasn't real. None of this was real. He drove on, the cab thick with silence, his breathing ragged. 10 minutes later, his eyes widened in horror. The same gas station sign reappeared on the horizon. And this time, Jake didn't speed toward it. He slowed, watching carefully as the illusion played out. The glow intensified, the building came into focus, and just as before vanished the moment he drew near. Jake's heart thudded like a war drum in his chest. He slammed the wheel with his palm. What the hell is going on? The road didn't answer, but she did. From the rearview mirror, Jake saw her sitting in the back of the cab. He froze. His stomach turned to stone. Her pale dress pooled across the seat, her long black hair spilling forward like wet strands of seaweed. She was facing down at first, motionless, until she tilted her head upward in that grotesque, unnatural way. Her glowing eyes locked onto his. Jake's throat tightened. He wanted to scream, to slam the brakes, to jump out of the truck and run until his lungs gave out. But he couldn't move. She smiled, wide, unholy. Her voice slithered into his ears without her lips even moving. "You don't get to leave, Jake. You drive until I say stop." His breath caught. "How do you know my name?" Her smile widened, teeth sharp as glass. Jake's skin crawled. He whipped his head around to look at the back seat, empty. The cab was silent, except for his own ragged breathing. Jake's chest heaved as he tried to calm himself. Not real. Not real. She's not real. But when he looked back at the road, his blood ran cold. She was there again, standing dead center. This time, he didn't break. He was done playing her game. With a guttural scream, Jake slammed his foot down on the gas, the truck roaring like a beast unleashed. "You want to stop me, TRY." The truck hurtled forward at 80 miles per hour. The woman didn't move. She stood tall, staring at him, waiting. "Move," Jake roared, tears stinging his eyes. "Get out of my way." The truck plowed through her, but instead of impact, instead of bones crunching or body thudding, Jake was blinded by a flash of white light. For a split second, he felt like he was falling, like gravity had been ripped away, leaving him suspended in some endless void. When the light faded, the road stretched before him, empty. His hands shook violently on the wheel. He dared a glance at the dashboard clock. 12:47 a.m. Jake's chest caved. No, 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 no. He checked his odometer, desperate to prove he was making progress. His jaw dropped. The numbers hadn't moved. Not 1 mile. Jake's vision blurred with panic. His lungs burned as he tried to breathe. The realization hit like a hammer. It didn't matter how fast he drove. It didn't matter how hard he tried. The road wasn't taking him anywhere. He was trapped in a loop. Jake pressed the gas again, roaring into the black. But deep down, he already knew. No matter how many miles he drove, no matter how many times he passed that fake gas station, or the phantom mile markers, every road led back to her. Jake's body trembled as he gripped the steering wheel, his eyes bloodshot and dry. He had no idea how long he'd been driving. Hours, days. Time had lost meaning on this cursed stretch of asphalt. The clock on his dashboard still read 12:47 a.m., frozen like the hands of a broken watch. The road mocked him with its sameness: dark pavement, jagged tree line, a sky smeared black. No towns, no exits, no stars. Just the endless hum of his engine and the suffocating silence pressing in from all sides. And always, always, her. Sometimes she appeared on the road. Sometimes in his mirrors. Sometimes whispering from the back seat, her voice low and crawling into his ears like centipedes. He'd tried everything. He'd screamed. He'd begged. He'd prayed out loud, gripping the rosary his mother had left in the glove compartment. Nothing worked. He wasn't escaping this. Not until he understood why. Jake forced himself to focus, his rational mind clawing for answers. His father always told him, "Son, if something don't make sense, it means you're missing a piece of the puzzle." So he started looking for the missing pieces. The first came when he pulled to the side of the road. He hadn't dared stop before, afraid she'd reach him if he wasn't moving. But the exhaustion was eating him alive, and the thought hit him hard: what if the road itself was the trap, not the driving? He cut the engine. Silence dropped like a coffin lid. The air inside the cab was so heavy, it felt alive. Jake's ears strained. At first, nothing. Then, tap, tap, tap. His blood iced over. The sound came from the passenger side window. Slowly, painfully, Jake turned his head. She was crouched outside the glass, her face inches from his. Hair draped over her shoulders, her eyes glowing like headlights in the void. One pale finger tapped, tapped, tapped against the glass. Jake's throat locked. He couldn't move, couldn't breathe. She tilted her head, a grotesque parody of curiosity, and mouthed a single word: "Remember." Jake blinked, and when he opened his eyes again, she was gone. He was shaking, drenched in sweat. The truck's interior felt like a tomb. He fumbled the glove compartment open with trembling hands, desperate for something, anything. The rosary beads fell out, clattering onto the floor. He ignored them. His fingers found old registration papers, a broken flashlight, an envelope yellowed with age. He froze. The envelope had no stamp, no address. Just his name scrawled in jagged handwriting across the front. Jacob. His heart hammered as he tore it open. A single sheet of paper slid out. The words, written in the same jagged hand, blurred as his eyes fought the tears that welled up. You left her to die. Jake's breath hitched, his chest squeezed as a buried memory clawed its way to the surface. Rain, headlights, screaming tires. A figure in white. He saw it now clear, as if it were happening all over again. He was younger, drunk, swerving on a back road after a long night. He never saw her until it was too late. The thud of impact rattled his bones. The crack of glass. The silence after. And then panic. He hadn't checked. He hadn't called for help. He had just driven away. Jake slammed his fist into the steering wheel, his cry echoing inside the truck. No, no, I didn't. I didn't mean to. But the memory didn't care. It unspooled in brutal detail, each frame another nail in his coffin. The broken body, the pale face, the lifeless eyes staring into the night as rain washed over her. The woman in white. The truck's headlights flickered. The dashboard lights sputtered. And then her voice filled the cab. Not whispering, this time booming, vibrating in his skull. You left me. Jake covered his ears, rocking in his seat. I didn't know. I was scared. I didn't mean to. You left me to rot in the ditch. You left me in the rain. You left me in the dark. Her voice was everywhere, inside and outside, in the engine's rumble, in the tires' spin, in his own heartbeat. The windows fogged as if the truck itself was suffocating. The windshield frosted over from the edges inward. Words scrawling across it in dripping letters. You cannot drive away from guilt. Jake's chest heaved, his world tilted. It wasn't the road that was endless, it was his punishment. Every mile, every phantom gas station, every illusion was just her way of reminding him. He wasn't trapped by her. He was trapped by himself. By what he had done. Jake slammed the truck into drive, tires squealing as he peeled back onto the road. His jaw set, his eyes wild. If this road was a prison built from guilt, then maybe, just maybe, there was only one way to break free. To face her, to stop running. Jake gripped the wheel tighter, his voice hoarse but firm as he muttered into the night. Okay then. You want me to remember. I remember. Now show me what you want. And as if she'd been waiting for those words all along, the woman appeared ahead once more. Not standing, not smiling, but lying in the road, broken and bleeding, just as she had that night. Jake's foot slammed the brake. Tires screamed against the asphalt as the truck fishtailed. Headlights slicing through the black. He barely managed to stop before hitting her. The woman lay sprawled in the middle of the road, twisted at unnatural angles. Her dress clung to her body as though soaked with invisible rain. Her hair splayed across the asphalt, wet and heavy, though the night was bone dry. Jake's heart thudded so hard it rattled his ribs. His knuckles turned white around the steering wheel. He couldn't breathe. Couldn't look away. It was the same sight. The exact moment. Frozen in time. The night he'd buried deep, clawing to forget. The night she died. For what felt like hours, he sat frozen, staring through the windshield at the broken figure. Then, slowly, her head turned. Jake's gut churned as her eyes met his glowing, unblinking, dripping with hate and sorrow. Her lips moved, and though her voice was barely a whisper, it filled the truck like a shout. You left me. Jake's throat closed. He wanted to deny it, to scream that it wasn't true, but the memory already shredded through his mind. The wet road. The bottle of whiskey rolling across the passenger seat. The thud when he hit her. And the choice he made to keep driving. I didn't know what to do. He whispered hoarsely, tears spilling down his cheeks. I was scared. I was a coward. But I never wanted you to die. I swear to God I didn't. The woman didn't blink, didn't breathe. Jake's trembling hands released the wheel. He shoved the truck into park, pushed the door open, and stumbled onto the road. His knees nearly buckled as his boots hit the pavement. The air was colder out here, unnaturally cold, his breath misting in thick clouds. Every instinct in him screamed to get back inside, to lock the doors, to drive away. But there was no away. There was only her. Step by step, Jake staggered closer. The woman's broken body didn't move, but her eyes tracked him, glowing brighter with each footfall. When he reached her, his stomach lurched. Her limbs bent wrong, bones jutting beneath skin. Blood seeped across the asphalt in rivers that disappeared into nothingness. But what hollowed him out completely was her face, not just rage, not just accusation, sadness. Jake collapsed to his knees beside her. His tears dripped onto the road, mixing with the black pools of her blood. His voice broke as he forced the words out. "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. If I could take it back, if I could trade places, God, I would. I would." Her eyes flickered. For the first time, they seemed almost human. Jake reached a shaking hand toward her. "Please, tell me what to do. Tell me how to make it right." For a moment, silence. The whole world held its breath. Then her lips parted. The words poured out, a hiss carried by the wind. "You cannot give back what you stole." Jake's chest tightened. His heart sank like stone. Her voice grew louder, shaking the trees around them. "But you can join me." Her broken body began to rise, bones snapping into place, as though unseen hands were pulling her upright. Her neck twisted, her spine arched, her limbs straightened with grotesque cracks. Jake stumbled back on his hands, eyes wide with terror. No, no. She floated above the ground now, her dress hanging weightless, her hair writhing as if alive. Her glow burned so bright, it painted the night in sickly pale light. "You drove away," she thundered, her voice now layered, inhuman, echoing from everywhere at once. "Now you will never drive again." Her arm stretched out, impossibly long, fingers curling into claws. Jake scrambled to his feet, turning back toward the truck. But before he could take a step, the ground beneath him split, asphalt crumbling like sand. Darkness yawned open, endless and hungry. He screamed as the road collapsed, dragging him toward the pit. The woman hovered above, watching coldly. Jake clawed at the crumbling pavement, fingers bloody, boots slipping. He looked up at her, desperate. "Please, mercy. I didn't mean." Her glowing eyes flared like fire. "There is no mercy on this road." His grip gave way. Jake's scream ripped through the night as he plunged into the void. The darkness swallowed him whole. And then the truck sat idling on an empty road, headlights still burning. The seat behind the wheel was empty. Far down the asphalt, the woman in white stood, still and silent, her eyes dim now, her head tilted toward the soundless trees, waiting, because the road was long, because guilt never died, because another driver would come, sooner or later, and when they did, she would be there.